I'm Cheryl, and I work for Access, and I am here with Shim Moore and Chris Clements, who have a new band, and it is called Screaming at Demons, and they are working on a great project with Nigel Skeet, who is a photographer, and that is called Homeless Rockstar. Hey guys, how are you?
Very good. How you doing?
Good.
Great.
So I heard about your project, and most people know that Shim Moore, of course, was in, you had a former band. You were in the band Sick Puppies. And so you're back, and you have a new band, and you have Chris Clements here with you, and you also have another gentleman in the band. He's not here for the interview.
No. He's not here, and the reason that he's not here is actually, his name's Russell Ali, and the reason he's not here is because he's in the next room in the studio laying some strings down on one of our future tracks. So he's doing his job while I...
Okay, so he is not here, but maybe you could tell me just a little bit about all three of you, what you did before you got your new band.
Okay, Chris,
okay.
Why don't you start off?
Yeah, Chris, tell us about yourself.
Sure. I used to play bass in the band Rapscallions. It was, kind of like a funky alternative project. We did a few cool things. We had a song that was a pretty big sports anthem and some good songs and video games. We did that, got to tour over the world. And now I'm working with Russell on Screaming at Demons.
Okay. And Shim, of course, we know you've had a long career. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all, or...
obviously, yeah, I was the lead singer of Sick Puppies, and, I think anyone who knows Sick Puppies knows what we did. But, yeah, I was in the same band for, probably going on 15 years.
Right.
17 years. And so I've really only ever known being in a band. So as soon as Sick Puppies split, a lot of people were asking me if I was going to do what I was going to do, and the only answer that I felt passionate about was, well, I want to find a new project and a new band, but I want to find different types of people to work with. And,
sure.
Chris is theory jazz trained, so he's a different caliber of musician that I'm used to working with. And Russell Russell's a freak. Like, Russell's just, I don't know how trained he is. I don't even dare to ask. I don't know what his knowledge is. But basically, he's providing an element to the sound of the band that is so unique and so fresh that, you put that together with Chris's, bass lines and my vocals and all of our songwriting experience, and we're definitely, I think we all feel confident that we're creating, just a fresh sound, a nice fresh sound for a band, and something that people can be inspired by.
That's good, and it just sounds really exciting. And the other band member is Russell Ali.
That's correct.
And he's the one who's not here, so you're speaking for him, telling us all a little bit about him.
Well, he doesn't like to do interviews, so I'm pretty much in charge of speaking.
Oh, okay.
It's quite a large responsibility, but I'm happy to take it on.
Yeah, well, doing interviews, it can be a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. So definitely.
It's not that. He just has a habit of putting his foot in his mouth. That's all it is.
Oh, okay. Well, I will be excited to see him on stage when you come.
That's where he shines, and that's what he does. That's what most of Russell, for sure. Yeah.
So,
Anyway, so that's Screaming at Demons. That's what we do.
Okay, so now you are friends, of course, with Nigel Skeet, and I've read, and so have other people, some different things about this project. How did you actually get invited to do this project? Nigel and you just were sitting down chatting, and how did it all come to be?
I'll tell you the whole story. You're recording right now?
Yes, I am.
The story began with Nigel. It's called Nigel Skeet's Homeless Rockstars. And the reason that it began was because Nigel moved up to Redding from Los Angeles, California. And in Los Angeles, he worked on Skid Row with the LA City Council. And, you know, that's pretty much ground zero for homelessness.
Sure.
So when he moved up to Redding, he opened up a photo. He moved up to Redding for family reasons and raising children and stuff. And he opened up he opened up a photo studio. And when he did, people from the community in Redding said, you know, you better watch out for the homeless people. And
Interesting.
Nigel's from ground zero, like Skid Row,
Right.
where it's real. And also he's a rock and roll kind of guy, so he really didn't like the bullying mentality that the community seemed to have against the homeless people. There was
Sure.
this amazing barrier, this huge barrier the community created. So Nigel's story was a simple one of the fact that he was doing an interview about his new photo studio, and the interviewer in the paper said, so what else is happening? And Nigel said, I've got this idea of maybe like giving, the homeless people around the corner from me hair and makeup and taking their photo and giving rock star treatment. And just taking some photos and doing something a little different. The next day, the newspaper put him on the cover of the newspaper with a big photo and a big headline saying, rock and roll celebrity photographer Nigel Skeet turns homeless people into rock stars.
Wow.
And suddenly Nigel had to, figure out what he was going to do with this little idea that he had. It was just an idea.
Kind of blew up on him, right? That's really terrific.
Yeah. And so he basically photographed 50 homeless people, and he put the photos up on his website, and then suddenly the community exploded with enthusiasm. They said, we love this, how do we get involved, how do we help? It's so fresh and new, and basically Nigel has formulated a very simple and effective event situation where Homeless Rockstars creates an event that's much like a rock and roll photo shoot.
Sure.
Where homeless people come in, and they get hair and makeup, and they're doted upon, and their ego is fed, and they're asked questions about themselves, and they're treated like human beings, and then they're treated like rock stars. And then they move into Nigel's part of the equation, where he takes their photo, and their humanity becomes extracted, where normally people don't want to even give you the time of day, let alone hear your story,
Sure.
let alone talk to you about anything. So Nigel's created a format where homeless people are given the hair and makeup and photo shoot, and then he brings members of the community like police chief and the fire chief and local business owners and people from the news in the local territory.
Right.
And they all walk in and they say, where are the homeless people? Because all we see are these, fairly nice looking people with hair and makeup.
Right.
And then the people from the community conduct the interviews, and they ask them about their aspirations and their future and their passion. The same questions you would ask a rock star.
Sure.
And what happens is the barrier is completely removed, and members of the community then offer their services to try to help these people realize their dreams. And the best example that we can give you is the Rockstar video that is going to be dropping on October 6th on the Screaming at Demons Bebo channel tells the story of a girl named Jessie Valley. Jessie Valley lived in a tent in the swamps of Redding, California.
Okay.
She had been in an abusive relationship with a man who got her involved in a meth addiction and took her away from her family, then got arrested and left her alone by herself in Redding, 10 hours drive from Washington, and she had nothing.
Right.
She had no way to get her life back together. And Homeless Rockstars basically took her in, listened to her story, and asked her what she wanted to do with her life and what's her passion. She was 17.
Wow. What a...
And Jessie Valley said, I've got a degree in the culinary arts. My passion is food. I want to cook. So they connected her with a 5-star French sous chef, and then enlisted her to be the catering coordinator for the Homeless Rockstars events.
That is so amazing. That is so amazing.
And Jessie Valley is Rockstar number one. And she is completely rehabilitated and completely fully realized. And she's a rock star in her own right. She's living her dream. She's living her passion. And she's home with her parents, and she's back with her family, and she's running her own culinary situation where she's doing the Homeless Rockstars event. And she's basically also working and apprenticing for a 5-star sous chef and building her craft and realizing her dream. And that's what Homeless Rockstars provides.
That is amazing. Amazing story. And what an example she is for everybody else out there that's going through this. That,
well,
yes, you can do it.
Exactly. And that's kind of what the video, we're going to be releasing the video on October 6th on the Screaming at Demons Vivo channel to tell her story. The song from the band is the soundtrack to her story, and the great thing about, I'm going to move forward from this, but the great thing about the marriage between Screaming at Demons and Nigel Skeet's Homeless Rockstars in this is that this particular song is being provided exclusively to Homeless Rockstars. You can't buy the song on iTunes, you can't stream it on Spotify, you can't download it from Amazon. The only way that you can get the song is that on October 6th, you will watch the video on the Vivo channel, and at the end of the video, a number's going to show up where you can text Rockstar to the number that we give you. And when you text Rockstar and follow the instructions, you can donate to Homeless Rockstars, and we will personally email you a copy of the song.
That is a really good way to do it. To make sure that you're getting, people aren't just taking it or whatever, that you're really helping the cause that you're working for. I was going to ask you about that. That was the next thing I was going to ask you about, was the song. But of course, you just told me about that, which is really good. You're making, you're doing.
Unfortunately, we have to get off the phone in 10 minutes.
Sure. No. I was going to ask you about that. About the song that you were doing and the video, and I'm so glad that you got that right. In there with because obviously that's part of the story. That you're doing this particular video with someone that has been such a success story, and most people, or many people, are one paycheck away from being homeless. There's, of course, everyone could go down that path very easily. And that's what a lot of people don't recognize. And so the fact that Nigel has been working, so relentlessly to help this situation is pretty amazing. And it's one that I think gets ignored a lot in our country. And I'm sure that he thought that too. So it's definitely just an amazing thing that he's doing and bringing so much awareness. He's doing this in California. Do you think that now that he's doing this, that this trend will kind of go across the U.S.?
Well, that's the whole plan, is from the donations that we receive from Rockstar, they're going to exclusively go towards throwing events in different cities all over the United States.
That would be a great goal, to try to...
just like a rock and roll tour in Seattle and Portland and all over, helping, different communities with this and, using everyone's donations to fund that.
Such a great idea. It's interesting that you were saying that Nigel just kind of was thinking about this and he just kind of threw it out there, and this idea just came from that. And that's, it's really just an amazing thing to happen. And
it all just kind of came together organically, and it just keeps rolling.
Well, because it is a good cause. It is a good cause, and it's a good thing, and it comes from the heart. And that's the kind of thing that in life is usually successful, right? Or we would hope so.
Yeah, that's why the free hugs became so popular.
Right. So you guys, I have a question for you guys. Now, do you guys personally, have you been to any of these sessions or events? Have you gone yourself to some of them?
No, there's only been a handful of Homeless Rockstars events. The goal of Homeless Rockstars is to become self-funded.
Okay.
And it's a very rare feat for a situation, because you hear, we're going to be real. You hear a lot of horror stories about charities that
Sure.
People donate money and the money doesn't go to where it's supposed to go. This is going to be a very controlled situation.
Okay.
Where Homeless Rockstars is collecting 100% of the money that's donated to them, and that money is specifically used to fund Homeless Rockstars events. And Homeless Rockstars events are where Nigel gets hair and makeup put with a photo studio, and they connect the homeless people with the community, and then they try to get dreams realized.
Right.
Very simple, very effective. It's very it doesn't require too much more explanation than that.
Right.
But this is
it's all done through United Way.
Yes, and that's true. It's done through United Way, which is the biggest charitable organization, the most transparent. So there's no real room for error. So the most important thing to realize is that people can feel 100% confident that when they check in and they text Rockstar to the number that we're going to give them, they're going to have the option to donate. They're going to get the song, and 100% of the money that is supposed to go to Homeless Rockstar is going to Homeless Rockstar.
Right, and that's important.
And it's going to be used to develop the events and take it on tour and take it on tour to different cities, so that more and more people around the world can share the experience, and it really grows instead of being localized to one place and being limited.
Well, and of course, Nigel can do all the photography and things himself right now, but as this grows and it goes to other cities, I'm sure that they'll have to, hire more people to help, and he would not be obviously the only photographer involved.
Well, that's the thing. The amazing thing about the situation is that there are so many people volunteering their time. People are quitting their jobs. People are changing their lives just to help. And that's great, but that only lasts a short period of time. And also, it's only localized really to Reading and Sacramento,
right,
places you can drive to. But we want to take it global. We want to make this a situation where we can help as many people as possible and tell as many stories as possible, because people have stories. They have lives. They have 20, 30, 40 years of an entire story that no one seems to care about. And that's the tragedy. And that's what this is bringing to life, that people have something to give, and the world becomes a better place when individuals help individuals. It's not about changing the world, it's about changing an individual, one person at a time.
Right.
So that's what this situation provides. And the most important thing that we want people to understand is that when they donate the money, it's going directly to the cause.
And that's very important, and people do want to know that. And you said that you do have a date. You do have a date?
October 6th, yes.
October 6th and you'll have. I'm sure this will be on your website. It'll be on the Homeless Rockstar website. I mean, this will be well advertised, so people
on October 6th, you're going to go to YouTube. You're going to go to the Screaming at Demons TiVo channel, and you're going to see the video for Rockstar.
Okay.
We're also having an event in Hollywood on October 6th, and we're going to be putting all the details up on our Facebook website very shortly.
So people will, that's a few weeks off, so people will be able to see continued advertising, for lack of a better word, about it.
To follow us on our Facebook so they get all the updates of when everything is coming out, exactly where to find it.
And you have a Facebook, and Homeless Rockstar has a Facebook also, correct?
Correct.
And you both have websites, and so people need to go there, and they need to add you, and they need to add Homeless Rockstar, and then they will have all the information. And it would be a really wonderful goal if we could see Homeless Rockstar popping up in every city. That would be a real dream, to have that happen.
That's all the things that that's why we need everyone's help. We need everyone possible to text Rockstar to the number after the video and really help make this a nationwide campaign.
And as a nation, we are so strong, and when we support things, we can really support them. And this is such an important thing that gets forgotten. And that there are real people out there that are friends, neighbors, relatives.
Guys, I've got to interject. I'm sorry.
We're down.
It's okay. Chris, can you wrap this up while I jump on the next call?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Shim. I appreciate it.
It was lovely to talk to you, and thank you so much for your kind words. And,
yes.
And thank you for your time and energy. Thank you so much.
Yes, we will keep supporting you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Sure, Shim.
And we're still here with Chris for a minute. And
Sure.
Chris, are you planning on going out on tour soon? Do you have? I didn't see any tour dates yet.
Sure, we're definitely going to be touring within the next year.
Okay.
Right now, all of our time and energy is going into the Homeless Rockstars launch this year.
Right. Okay.
But once that's there and gets rolling, you're going to see coordinates on our website, Facebook, for next year.
Right. Well, it would be nice too, I'm sure, and you probably have all these things in the works. If when you go on tour, you can connect it somehow, which I'm sure you will in some way, that people can give donations and people can continue to support homeless rock stars through your touring.
Totally, and that's the beautiful thing. No matter where you are, whether you're on the show hanging out with us, or you're on your couch, or you're at work, you can just text Rockstar to that number anytime and donate as much as you want. And if you want to get involved even more, you can go to homelessrockstars.com. There's a contact form, and you can decide how much you want to help. You can, come in and, offer a job or, whatever you see fit to help the movement. I mean, all the help is welcome and appreciated.
And one thing that struck me is when I looked at the photos, and I looked at them, and I think that people do in this country have such a perception of what a homeless person is. And not only did Nigel take these photos, but he really brought out the beauty in the people. And I'm not saying that they were necessarily beautiful people, but maybe beautiful inside, if that makes sense.
Nigel has a way with his photography of capturing energy.
Right.
It's why he's so famous as a photographer, because he just, he did our photo shoot, and it was, 5 minutes, boom, boom, click, click, okay, we're done. And they were some of the best photos I've ever gotten to be a part of. And like you said, checking out the Homeless Rockstar photos, he just captures people's message, and I think that's why they're so great.
And they really were. And I guess I'm don't compare to Nigel in the photography department, but being that I do take photos and I am interested in it, I often say that it's kind of funny you use that word, because a lot of times when I take photos of friends or singers or performers, right there, that's their essence. That's them. That's the true them. That you just can't. Thank you, Chris, for being with us here. You are from the band Screaming at Demons, and you have a new song coming out called Rockstar, and October 6th that will hit, and people can go and they can get the song through your, you'll have sites set up so people will be able to find it. And
the only way, like Shim said earlier, the only way you can get it is by watching our video on our Vivo channel, the Screaming at Demons Vivo channel, and then texting Rockstar to a number that appears at the end of the video.
Right.
And it's the only way that you can get the song is by donating to Homeless Rockstars.
Right. And so people need to keep an eye out for that. I guess I should say keep an eye out on your website, on
YouTube, on Facebook, we'll have the link to the video, so you can find it in all those places.
And the Homeless Rockstar website and Facebook.
Website, yep.
as well. So we will be looking for that, Chris. I really appreciate you talking to me. And we had Shim Moore here, and we had you, Chris Clements, and you're both from Screaming at Demons, and you have an awesome project coming up with your music and with your work with Homeless Rockstar. So we thank you for doing that. It is an awesome thing, and we will watch Homeless Rockstar to see how far it moves across the country, because I have faith that it will, right?
Going all over. Oh.